Ryan Trahan recently visited the most magical place on earth, and I'm here to share my thoughts about Ryan Trahan staying at every single hotel at Disney World. Let's get into it. Kristen, have you ever heard of Ryan Trahan before? Is this like the first time? Like, I know that I sent you the video. Like, have you experienced his content before at all?
So you know me, I'm 1,000 and I don't like really take in YouTube content and all that. No, the only way I'd him is actually in a Facebook group that I'm in for travel agents. Someone was excited and was like, "He made a Disney video," and people were like commenting about it. So I'm really, when you sent it to me, I was like, "Oh, that's just kind of the universe, sending me all the things." I liked it, and I kind of buzzed through a little bit because I was watching it during the school break today when I wasn't teaching. But yeah, I mean, I think enough that we can chat about it.
When I sent it to Kristen, one of the first things that we both talked about was money because, oh my gosh, like just knowing Disney and how much things cost, there was some money that was spent on this video. We don't know if Disney played a role in part of this. I don't know. What are your thoughts? What do you think about that?
In a way, and I know nothing about this world or what they have to do as far as how rights work and all that stuff, but
Yeah.
I do feel like so often you see influencers and stuff that will be really open saying this is a paid opinion, or somehow I was sponsored for this. And as far as I've watched, I didn't hear any of that, so it makes me think that maybe it wasn't sponsored in any way by Disney. But you're right. I mean, you stayed in a Polynesian bungalow. That is dollars. So I don't know. He was in a lot of deluxe places. He was in some, and it was cute to me because when they were doing the Pop Century part and they were like, a value resort, it's still really expensive. And then later I'm like, oh my gosh, you're in a poly bungalow? Like, that's not even, you may as well have stayed at like the Howard Johnson down the road when you were at Pop Century.
Yes.
So, but I thought that was like a touch of reality there, which is kind of cute.
Well, you know how things add up very quickly. I don't know. I don't know if Disney helped him out at all, but I kind of appreciate not really knowing because I feel like it made the video a little bit more personal. Like I felt like a lot of the things that he did are things that like average people could probably go do. I mean, I don't know about a Polynesian bungalow. Going like when they went to Pop Century and had a s'mores, like a s'mores date night, or at the Cars Art of Animation when they were watching a movie and then went and swam in the Cozy Cone pool. Things like that just felt like anybody could do those things.
And I felt like it was kind of like us. Like, we're going to always love Disney, but we're also, we're both able to say something we don't like or something we think isn't fair or wasn't the best choice that they made. Not like they were like that too. I mean, they're pretty positive in general, but there were things that they, were like kind of mocking, like how much the drink mugs are. And, like, yeah, it's a lot. It's expensive because all you're putting in there is soda, which is basically free for Disney.
Yes. Ryan kind of talks about his goal is to book a room inside the Magic Kingdom castle. And I remember watching this for the first time. He says it's nearly impossible, which he is correct. I had to do a quick Google search. I was like, okay, who has stayed here? When is the last time they've stayed here? It seems to be an invitation only kind of experience. Like it's not like you can just go and book this on the Disney website. There were some celebrities that have stayed here. When you said that he was going to try to stay in the Cinderella suite, as someone that doesn't know him, what were your thoughts going into that?
I mean, I thought that was just like kind of funny, and it was kind of one of those like, oh, that's cute kind of moments. Yeah, it's not happening. I mean, again, you're right. It's always celebrities. It's invitation only. There was, oh gosh, this may have been way back before you were even like old enough to know or care. Because I feel like it may have been the 25th anniversary of Magic Kingdom or something. Anyway, they did a whole thing called like the Year of a Million Wishes, or it was something like that, or the the Year of Wishes, whatever. And they would literally walk up to people in the park and be like, hey, today you're getting a wish. And like maybe you would get to ride on a parade float. Maybe you would get to go up with the characters in the castle show. Just really cool. But there were people that were gifted stays in the Cinderella suite.
Wow.
Now, I don't know anybody who was. And that year, my Aunt Julia and I were just like, please pick us for anything, and nobody did. But and we were joking because we were like, we're just too normal looking. Like, we don't have any cute little kids with us, or, like there's nothing that would make people spot us and want to give us something really cool. But I think that they gave them away then, but not since. So that's been a minute. I don't know.
When was that? Do you know, like, approximately time?
It had to be in that time. I mean, I know we were in the park that year, so it could have been really early 2000s. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm curious. I'm curious how many people like got that
I'm like,
wish to stay
I'm gonna
there.
look it up right now. The Year of a Million Dreams was a promotion at Disneyland and Walt Disney World Resort. It began October 1st, 2006 and ran until December 31st of '08. 2006 and 7, it sounds like. I don't know if it gives any more details on like what you could win or no, it doesn't.
And they have not had people stay in the castle since.
I think celebrities maybe.
So,
I mean, because I feel like, if I don't care if a client had $14 million. Like I could not get them booked in there. It's not a question of money, which is funny because usually for Disney it's a question of money.
yeah.
But it couldn't. Like if you and your hubs had that much money, like I still can't get you in there. But, if I call up and I'm repping some celebrity, I don't know, maybe just because of who they are. I don't know. I don't care if you had $1 billion, you're not getting in there.
That's an interesting viewpoint that you were like, no way, because I'm not gonna lie, just knowing Ryan Trahan a little bit, I was like, oh, like this would be so cool if he got into the Cinderella suite. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I was really hoping that he would. So spoiler alert, he did not get into the Cinderella suite.
I do think too, like it probably made people be like, is that a thing? And now people will be like, okay, well, how do I do it? So, and it's like, well, you can't. But, it will probably spark a lot of people to be like, well, if he can try, so maybe try for it.
I know. I am curious. Like, throughout the video, he mentioned how he was, like, emailing people and whatnot. I'm like, okay, who are you emailing? And I also am, like, just from my own creative brain standpoint, I'm wondering if he kind of knew it wasn't going to happen, but still wanted to keep that in his video for the storyline to keep people like waiting to be like, oh, like, because he would have sections of the resort picture pop up when he went to that resort, and at the end was the castle, and I like wonder if that was just part of a storyline. I don't know. That was just something that I was.
I mean, if it was, it's a pretty good tactic,
Yeah, he did not go to the Cinderella suite, but he did go check out some great resorts, and there were some things from most of the resorts that I watched that I kind of had an opinion about. Right away, he mentions that this is the cheapest hotel room of this video, and I immediately was like, wait a second, because I watched it a couple times, but after watching it through, he stays at All Star Sports. So how could Pop Century is not cheaper than All Star Sports, right?
It's not. And I mean, I'm trying to think, like, there are some times when like you could say, oh well, a base, the cheapest room at this resort would still, could be less than the so I don't even really think that like the best room at one of the All Stars, I think would still be comparable or maybe even under the least room at Pop. I mean, I'd have to go in and like log in to look, which I can if we want to see for sure. But yeah, because it is in two different leagues. Like,
yeah, that was one thing that I was like, oh, I don't know. Not that that's a big deal. Pop Century is usually a little bit more expensive than the All-Star resorts. So.
Yeah, I mean, there is no way ever, I don't care what season or anything, no, there's always going to be a cheaper room at the All-Stars than there is at Pop. So
yeah,
maybe we're misinterpreting how he meant it, or I don't know. That's but yeah, true. No way.
This resort, his goal was to get a campfire video at Pop. I just really loved how every single resort he had, some goal. Like it was like his wife's goal to have some sort of romantic picture, like doing something at every resort. And so I appreciated that part of the storyline. And then at Pop, it was the Mickey s'mores. And this is actually something that I've never done before. I've walked by it. I've walked by this happening in other resorts, and I'm just always like, like it was $7 for a s'more. I think I'm good. But I don't know. It kind of just made me like think about these resorts a little bit differently, because I'm like, oh, okay. Like because I don't spend a lot of time at the resorts when I go to Disney, and so I'm not really doing anything extra, and so I don't know, I just kind of looked at Pop a little bit differently. I was like, oh, okay, like you could spend time here and have a good, like some fun things to do. So I don't know. Have you ever done the s'mores before?
I haven't. I was just gonna say, I mean, I think you and I are similar in that we do go when we're at Disney. Like we want to be out and in the parks and all that good stuff. But sometimes I'm like you, like I might see that's happening and be like, oh, that's cool. But at that point, like I'm too tired and I'm too, like I'm sweaty and I'm tired and it's been a day and I'm kind of like done. So, but I think, that's where I think building in some rest time in your vacation, like really gives you the chance to experience some of that. You're not wasting your park time or what you think you've paid for in the parks or whatever. But like I'm excited. So my aunt and I are going to do a rest day for the first time this year. Like we actually have a day that we did not buy a ticket for. So
Yeah.
we're going to sleep in, we're going to go to the pool, we're going to relax, we're going to take a leisurely evening at Disney Springs, like, and we're really excited for it. So maybe this will be the year that we might find something like that we want to do, because we're not so drop dead tired by 8 p.m., that we're like dragging back to the hotel. So
Yeah. No, I'm the exact same. And it made me think about, there are some things at the resorts that you could do that are different. And I feel like that's kind of how I felt about this whole video. I was like, wow, there are a lot of things to do at a lot of resorts.
So much going on that you don't even see or know about, right?
Yes, 100%. And I felt like that was like what a lot of his video was about, was just finding something to do at every single resort. He went to the Contemporary for one of his resorts, backtracking a little bit to how much money he's spending, a bungalow at the Polynesian and a contemporary park view room, like amazing, a dream vacation. Okay, but the walk-in shower, this is something that is small, but it caught my eye. So I recently stayed at Contemporary and I was in the tower and I had a tub and he had a huge walk-in shower. How does that work?
I kind of think it's luck of the draw. So I've never had to request, no one has ever asked me to request a tub, because there are families that want a tub because they have a little one that they want to do a bath with, not a shower. But, I've had them at other resorts, and I know there are other resorts where you can, request a tub room if you want it. Won't be guaranteed, but you can try. I didn't know there were any at Contemporary that would have had tubs. So when I recently stayed there, I was in the garden wing, but we had the full walk-in shower. So.
Okay.
And I can't even picture what it would have been like to have a tub there. It would have almost looked weird. So I don't know if having the tub would like reconfigure the bathroom at all from the way it was laid out in my room. I don't know, but
that's true. Yeah, ours was like the bathroom looked pretty similar in his video, but like the tub was like against the wall and it was large. It was, a nice size, but I don't know, something that I was like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. But I've also only stayed at the Contemporary once, so
same. Yeah. And it's not my favorite of the deluxe. Like it is what it is, and people love. Yeah, I did not love it. Wouldn't pick it over some of the other monorail resorts.
Which one would you pick over the Contemporary?
Poly? I would pick Poly or Grand Flow over the Contemporary.
Really?
Now having stayed there, I think for me, part of it, I do like the atrium. I like the main building and all that. I did not like being in that garden wing. I felt like I was like out at camp at the, and the room itself was still cute and really big. I loved the space, all of that. The theming's super cute. But yeah, I did not like being in that garden wing. I think if I were ever going to stay there again, I would have to spring for the main tower for sure. For me, don't strike me down, Disney Tiki Gods. The grounds are not pretty. And I really like that at a resort. I like a more lush, pretty green kind of grounds, and for me it's very concrete, which is it's supposed to be very Tomorrowland and all that, and they've achieved that, but it's just not as enjoyable to me. I would rather have like the trees and the more lush landscaping that you see at other places.
I hadn't necessarily thought about that, but you're right, like it is all cement. I remember like multiple people like running the running trail at that resort because like it's just all cement. But they dined at the California Grill and they had that magical moment on the balcony. This is a fine dining experience. You've been here before, right? Did you enjoy
so
Grill?
At our agency summit, Jamie it was like for our top sellers at the agency, she took us all really generously to California Grill. I really liked it. It's one of those experiences I would not really need or want to do it all the time. Like for me, it wouldn't be, I want to go every trip. But it was really cool. There were some really interesting things on the menu. It was more of that elevated feel dining, the service was excellent. Pretty cool to have the fireworks going off. I do think, I don't know what's weird about me here. I don't get a thrill from watching the fireworks from a distance. Now, the one exception to that is when we've done the cruises where we're like watching them from the boat. For some reason, that's pretty magical. But like I was with people that were actually like crying a little, like with the music being piped through and the fireworks. And I was kind of standing there being like, do I have no heart? Am I like, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, like you feel a lot. But for some reason, that does not get me like it does when you're in person. Like I can watch the fireworks in person and be like, Disney.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. I was looking around and I was like, I
Yeah.
think it's me.
I guess you're just
So,
far enough away. I don't know. I feel like
again,
I just when I watch the fireworks, I like to be right up close, and seeing the
me
castle
too.
and seeing everything. So, I can totally understand that. I would. I guess it's the same thing. They do pump the music on the fireworks cruise, so I didn't know if that'd be different on the balcony, but I guess it'd be pretty much the same thing. So, I don't
Yeah,
know.
they still do it.
It did make me want to go to the California Grill. It looks
Hmm.
like a nice place to have dinner.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth it to do it once. And especially like, we were chatting with people like while we were waiting to go up in the elevator and, other guests that were waiting too. And like several people were there for like an anniversary dinner, or there was this cute couple, they were celebrating their 50th anniversary and they met as cast members at Disney. And they were like there to celebrate their meal. And we were like, that is the coolest story, right? So, it's a special place like that for neat occasions.
Yeah, that is sweet. There was one thing I noticed. So he also went to All Star Sports, which we kind of talked about. He went to Art of Animation, spent a lot of time in the Cars area, which is my favorite part of Art of Animation. I think it's the best
For cute.
themed. So he did the little coffee bit in every little resort. I loved that. I'm like, how do you think of
Yeah.
something so creative like that? In Wilderness Lodge, there was a Keurig coffee machine, and I think he said something like, this feels more deluxe. And I was like, wait a second, how have I not realized that there's not a Keurig in the other, like, is there a Keurig in the moderate resorts? I know there's not value.
Well, so yeah, so moderate, yes, because I'm thinking back when Andy and I went for the Not So Scary Halloween party last year, we stayed at Coronado. And I remember, I don't drink coffee, but I drink a matcha in the morning. And I brought my matcha with me. And so there was like, not like the pod Keurig, but the thing where you put in like the 1 cup. Maybe there were pods. I'm trying to think. Anyway, I know there was an automatic something because I remember filling it and doing my cup and then making my matcha. So yeah, I think there must be levels. I don't know that it's like a full out, here, choose your Keurig K-cup, but there is something cool there. But I can't think what's in the values. Can you? Like, I can't really picture it.
I think it's just, I know I have a video, but I think it's just like a traditional, like a coffee machine where you just have a packet and you have to fill it with water and dump it in the cup at the top, and then it just has, so there's no pods or anything. So I don't know how in the world I've never realized that deluxes have Keurigs and other resorts don't.
Yeah, that's totally true.
I don't know. I just, not that that's a big deal, but some people do prefer a Keurig over a regular coffee pot, so who knows?
I mean, it's not a big deal, but I think the thing about deluxe resorts is all those little things that aren't really big deals kind of add up to be a pretty big deal and a better experience sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. Like there was, like they filmed like the coffee pot, and then they filmed the Kleenex box, which was a wooden box, and
oh yeah, they tried to make it talk.
Yeah. So, I guess, yeah, you're right. There are little things that just kind of add up and just make it like feel a little bit more luxury. So, Animal Kingdom Lodge, they had a huge room. What is this room? Do you know? Like, I know it's some Savannah View room.
It's gotta be, but full disclosure, I buzzed through that.
No,
so fine. I did not see that room.
Fine.
I can't comment.
It had multiple bedrooms. I don't know. It was some suite, but it was ginormous and it looked incredible.
Did he say if they were they in Jumbo House or were they in Kidani? Did he happen to say? I mean, there's suites in both, but there are some really nice 2 and 3 bedroom suites over in Kidani Village because I've had clients over there and they've loved it over there.
I'm wondering if it was Kidani only because I remember when he filmed himself walking in. When I recently visited, I was on the Kidani side and I did not realize that I was supposed to be on the Jumbo side, and I remember what the entrance looked like it literally said Disney Vacation Club as you walk in, and I didn't even remember that. So I'm wondering if he was on the Kidani side. I don't know, but his room was really big.
There's some really good suites over there and some really nice Savannah well.
He did mention at the Polynesian that this was the only resort where characters were where they're greeting people. I thought was a little bit interesting because I've seen characters at other resorts before, like interacting with guests. Like I've seen characters at Animal Kingdom Lodge. I don't know if that was just like timing. He just didn't run into any others. But
I think it was just a timing thing, because you'll even see them. You can see them at any resort. Like sometimes they pull up in their little shuttle, and it's super cute because they hop out and they do their thing.
Yeah.
But like, I know that happens. Like I wasn't with the group, but some of our agents this year were touring Caribbean Beach, and that happened to them. They got great pictures in the lobby with some characters, and it was super cute. So yeah, I think it just maybe that was the timing for him, but it does happen other places.
They stayed at a bungalow, and I laughed when they were checking in and the cast member was like, oh, it's not a room, and they just had like no idea. I truly was like, are they appreciating what they're truly experiencing right now? Because as someone who frequents Disney a lot, like, you got to stay in a bungalow. That's crazy. Like, even compared to the Cinderella suite, like I feel like that's like right up there, you know?
They're so hard to get is the thing. Like, you can, like, I have had clients inquire about them, but honestly, anytime somebody has asked me to try and get one for them, it's kind of too late. Like they are snatched up, and be like, well, I can get one for like one night, but they don't, it's like, they don't want to do it just for that. So, yeah, it's pretty hard to get.
I do feel like the ending was really sweet. Did you have a chance to watch the ending?
I did not. Class game.
That's okay. The ending, he pretty much just kind of, like, he had a clip and he's like, okay, hopefully in this next clip, I'm showing you myself in the Cinderella castle. And then the next clip was a picture of him, or a picture of the room, and that he was like holding up, and then he put it down and he played some like sad music, and then his wife Haley was like, would you like a burger? And then he's like talking about how they didn't get to go, but they had so many magical moments, and they like flashed back to like the s'mores picture, the pool picture, the fireworks picture, and I was like, oh, that's kind of sweet. So I don't know, yeah. I just felt like you see all of these giant creators or celebrities going to Disney and doing all these amazing things. It felt, watching his video, I truly felt like I could go and do those things. Okay, maybe not a bungalow, and maybe not, some of the other crazy things, but that I felt like I could go experience a date night having s'mores, or watching a movie and then going and get a Cars dessert and then swimming in the pool of the Cars movie, just small things like that I felt like he did a really good job of just embracing the magic of what Disney is. And so I feel like the resorts sometimes don't get the credit, that they should, because there are some really unique things that you can do at every single resort, and there are so many things that you can do, and it was just fun. It was fun to watch. It was fun to watch somebody that is a pretty big creator that doesn't normally do Disney go do Disney and see what he did. So it's kind of my takeaway from
I thought it was cool. And I feel like exactly what you just were talking about. Like, I'm asked so many times by people, well, what's the big deal about staying on property? And it's almost an intangible quality. It's very hard to explain. And I try to explain, like, I want you to be in the Disney bubble. Like, recently I had someone ask me, I was going down to Orlando, and she was like, oh, do you ever eat at such and such? And I was like, yes, I don't actually go into Orlando. Like, I'm either at Disney or I'm at Universal, and that is where I am. Like, I don't rent a car. I don't go to Walmart. Like, I don't run to the CVS, none of that. I'm in the Disney bubble. If I can't get it there or in the gift shop, I ain't getting it, So like, but it's hard to explain that, because you can save some money and drive in every day, and have to park, but there is just a whole different level of magic, even at a value and all-star. I don't care. There's just something about being on Disney property and being in that world,
I totally agree.
And when I'm going to Disney, I still use the Mirrors Connect. I want the whole, I like to try and recreate what the Magical Express used to be. And like, the second I'm on that stupid monorail at the airport, I'm like, okay, it's beginning.
Yes.
I'm in the bubble. I think that he does such a great job. Anybody else who would be like referring to their partner or girlfriend as a pookie, like, it should be so annoying, and it's not. And I don't know how they achieve that. And like, I feel like if you and I went down there and did something similar where you were like the main thing and I was kind of like the sidekick trying to be cute and funny, it would flop. Like we what, but it works. And it's like it's totally great to watch. And so whatever is their little magic chemistry combo, I don't know. But
I know.
I thought they did a great job of that. Cause like
Yeah.
that could easily just be like, who calls it, Pookie? But it's cute and it works,
Okay, I'm dying because you probably don't know who Pookie and Jet are, right?
I do not, because I'm 1,000. Go ahead, tell me.
Okay, so there's this internet couple. Oh my god, this is hilarious. There's this internet couple. They are so rich. They have a crazy amount of money, and they blew up on TikTok, but they're on Instagram too.
Yeah.
Husband always calls his wife Pookie, and for a while he'd be like, Pookie's looking so good tonight. I'm fairly certain that they are calling each other Pookie because of Pookie and Jet, like on the internet.
Even
right
better.
now.
It's even better. Now I like it even more. Yes, go.
But anyways, you're right. I think they are like, I enjoy. She has a YouTube channel too, and she talks about books, and she reads a lot of the books that I read too, and so that has been, that's fun to watch too.
Well, thanks for telling me who they are. You have to keep Grammy.
Yeah, you need to go search up who Pookie and Jet are, so you haven't you'll find
I need
them.
to know.
Because you probably have seen them before, but they're always doing like showing off their outfits, and then he'll be like, Pookie, what are you wearing tonight? And she'll like talk about $1,000 outfit that she's wearing, and yeah, it's just funny.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out.
I just thought he did a really good job from a creator standpoint. I loved how every single resort had something. He did a story for everyone. He had the coffee bit for every single resort. So when you got to the next resort, you knew that the first thing that he was going to do as soon as he entered that room was film the coffee bit. And I just thought that was like something so small that was so creative, the way that he did it. And the toilet paper was another thing that you saw at every single resort. Like how, was the toilet paper 1 ply? Was it 2 ply? Whatever it was. So I thought that was another unique touch. I love that he had a romantic session at every single resort. I will say, I thought the title was a bit misleading. He did not stay at every Disney resort. He had B-roll of every Disney resort. Resort tour videos are my favorite videos to create, and I think seeing him do these videos makes me want to create my own videos in a different way. I appreciated the unique twist that he had on Disney content. I think that a lot of resort tours can be very similar. It was quick, it was efficient, it got the point across. My magical rating of Ryan Trahan's video is a 9. If it would have been a perfect 10 if he was staying at the Cinderella suite at the castle, but also if he would have stayed at every single Disney resort. I feel like that would be a crazy video to accomplish. I completely understand just going and getting B-roll at every single resort, but to get a perfect 10, you got to do those two things. But otherwise, it was a great video. See you later, rope jumpers.